Welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play as karmic themes, because that's the way you learn. That's how you break karmic cycles. When we get stuck in a karmic cycle, it's like the same experience, just with different people. And it's an experience that keeps us stuck in a lower vibration, in a lower consciousness, meaning I'm not good enough. I don't have enough, a place of disempowerment. Okay. So we're down here in physical form to learn and to manifest. And what we are supposed to be learning is that we're not separate from love, unconditional love, which is the energy of the universe, which is the energy of source and the energy that connects us to each and every one of us. Okay. You're down here to give and receive of love through your free will. But if you're all spiritually blocked because you have all these shadows, and you're wearing all these masks and have all these personas, you actually then wind up looking for things outside of yourself to fix you, when really the answers are all inside of you. All you need to do is integrate the spiritual lesson so that you can transmute the negative energy and quantum jump into the reality that you want to experience. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. If you have a Virgo zodiac that you're attached to, or a Scorpio zodiac that you're attached to, or an all zodiac, any other zodiac, well, you might want to check out any of my other YouTube channels. I have a Virgo channel and a Scorpio channel. You can find the Scorpio channel under Laura Schwalm, and you can find the Virgo channel under Laura Schwalm, and the all zodiac on the Psychic Soul Healer channel. All right. Now, these readings are all about diving deep, so I do look at everything, but we take more time, again, to look at the spiritual blocks, and know that, again, taking more time means that the readings are just a little bit longer, but they're worth it, because if you can have new awareness of what to do, like I said, you can quantum jump into the reality that you want, and that is what real healing is. People that do all this other healing, like energetic healing, it's not that that healing isn't good, is that healing isn't relevant if you haven't healed your mind. Everything happens in the spiritual realm long before it happens in the physical realm. You're a human being having, you're a spiritual being having a human experience, is what I'm meaning to say. And so unless you integrate the spiritual lesson, well, it'll keep replaying within your life. And it's not that those karmic cycles don't repeat, but when you handle them differently, you change the whole dynamic of a situation. And that is what allows you to see yourself differently. And that is actually what raises your vibration and allows you to know that you're worthy, and that you're able then to transmute that negative energy, because you can't just get rid of negative energy. It doesn't work that way. You have to, again, learn the spiritual lesson and then do something with the energy. You ground the energy and you ground it into purpose, something that's, again, an expression of unconditional love, something that you love, what that's usually connected to your soul's path. Again, want to enter into winning a free reading with me? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the first card that I pull out is the underlying energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. That's important when we're looking at shadows. And the first card is jealousy. Jealousy. Oh, I feel like you're connected to somebody that you have not heard from in a long time. And the thing is, they thought that you were coming back. And I feel like for a long time, they also were like, I don't care. I don't care. They were in a place of denial. I don't care. And I'm sure you'll be coming back to me. And what happened is none of those things were true. And so now this person is like thinking that you didn't come back to them because you must be talking to somebody else. Now, that doesn't mean that it's true. What it means is that this person tends to perceive things from their level of consciousness, what they tend to do. So again, where they don't really form relationships, they tend to create attachments. And then what happens is the attachment is usually fueled by a lot of anxiety and worry, and then obsession. And the thing is, that's what this person was trying, I should say, not supposed to, but trying to create with inside of you, because they usually tend to go for lower hanging fruit that don't, these people don't tend to invest in themselves. So they are a player, and they're like, I know exactly who to seek out. People that I perceive don't love themselves as much as they should. And unfortunately, that's how this person perceived you, because you gave them too much time. Because again, you were coming from a place of, well, I treat people the way that I want to be treated. So when we come from a place of I treat people where I treat people the way I want to be treated, um, we're actually teaching people we care more about being liked than being respected. And what's most important is being respected, because if a person respects you, then you automatically know that they like you, and you're actually getting treated like fairly, with equal give and take reciprocity. People that have a lower vibration, they tend to like to elevate themselves, right? And they put themselves in competition with people that aren't even in competition with them, because they admire them, because they want to be like them. But understand there's a jealousy. There's a jealousy, an underlying energy of jealousy. And I believe, Gemini, you have this. You're like, why do I trigger everybody? It's like you trigger everyone because of your essence. It has nothing to do with what you're actually doing. Believe it or not, it has to do with your essence. So, and the illusion is when you were younger that you needed something outside of yourself, right, to be whole. Well, meanwhile, it's like you actually see that you are whole, but you're attached to somebody that forms attachments and is only used to being with people that don't believe in themselves. They always come from a place of lack, the ego, again, lower consciousness, which is I look at you for what you can do for me, instead of equal give and take reciprocity. And the thing is, that's why they have to come in and form attachments and create that, obsession and anxiety. The anxiety to create the obsession, really. Because this person has, again, abandonment issues, major abandonment issues. And I feel like it wasn't just abandonment within growing up in childhood. So we will look at the inner child wounds. I feel like it's mainly, well, look at that. That just kind of flipped over. And see what happens is that this person, every time they get into a relationship, they wind up sacrificing too much. I feel like this person doesn't like to form those emotional connections, because they don't have balance. They lose themselves. So they're either an all or nothing type of person. Either they don't give anything at all, or they again come in and they overgive and they lose themselves. Either way, it's always an attachment. So this person tries to strategize. They're not coming from the true self, the higher self, which comes only from their feeling, and that only comes from the now. Only in the now do we get divine guidance, right? And that's when we're present. We're present in the moment and we're grounded. You know that this person has a lot of wounds around their relationships, because they keep getting triggered, and then they go up into their head and they strategize and they overthink. And their overthinking is really what's sabotaging the connection. This person's wasting time, because again, they're overthinking. But they'll give too much energy to family and other people. I feel like anybody that has a natural emotional connection, they tend to overgive. So they're like, no, I'm not going to do that with you. It's a sense of control. And a sense of control because I don't want to be left. So again, they're not aware of what they do. And I feel like when you met this person, you weren't aware of of all their wounds, but I think that you thought that they were a lot more spiritually evolved, and maybe they knew the lingo, or maybe they hung out with certain people, but this person's really unaware. They're unaware because they ignore their gut feelings. Like I said, they're not emotionally intelligent. They don't want to be emotional around you. They don't want to tap into that part of themselves around you because they have not gotten good results in the past. They lose themselves. They form attachments. Attachments create pain. They keep you in a place of disempowerment. They keep you in a place of limitation. We all want to be free on some level. And this person always has fear, but they're the ones that unconsciously recreate that. And it's because they're insecure, right? So again, this person feels like, I feel like they avoided you because they would they avoided you because they didn't want you to confront them about their behavior, number one. Number two, I believe that they don't really know how to communicate. When they get triggered, they're not emotionally intelligent, and so they get overly emotional. And so they tend to want to control, they tend to lash out. They're not aware of, again, what they do. They're not aware. They know that they've had problems in relationships. They don't understand why. And again, part of you, if you were to tell this person and confront them, they would see it as criticism, no matter how you would tell them, because they're so wounded. And again, person that sees everything as criticism, they get triggered and then they react. So I believe a large part of the way that this person deals with that is they just avoid you. Like the problem's not really there. And they can do that if emotionally they haven't built a strong enough bond with you. So now you understand why they did what they did. However, I believe that, they did have expectations of what they believed that you were going to do. And I do believe that you had expectations of what they were going to do. By the way, that's a second chakra imbalance. Because we shouldn't have expectations of someone else. Real love is unconditional. There is no ownership, there is no expectation. And this person is not seeing things through a clear perception of who they are. And so how much they would have to give and what you are supposed to give back would be distorted because they never got anything. So they would expect you to give as much as they give, and this person doesn't have part of their identity. And I say that because, again, they were taught to overgive on some level. When a person grows up in an environment where they're the fixer, the healer in the family, well, they tend to overgive. They tend to sacrifice themselves. Why? Because they don't know who they are yet. A child has to go out and find themselves and explore. That's how they meet their tribe. That's how they form real relationships. This person has a problem in the second chakra, which is their relationships, it's their individuality, it's their passions, which is not just about sex, but it's about passion for life. They're looking for someone to come in and fix that, and no one can fix that. And especially when if they're gonna act like they don't give a shit half the time. And that's the thing. I feel like this person is disassociated. So they don't know what they feel. They get so overstimulated. Their mind goes away from them. So they get overstimulated. They don't know what they feel. So it's like it's just easier for them to act like they don't care. But that's the thing. Just because this person acts like they don't care doesn't mean that they don't care. Person doesn't do all this. Again, it's like they know that if they were around you, they would just wind up giving you too much. Because this is who they are. They tend to be, they're very grounded. Their language of love is to give. But in that, they overgive. And then what happens is people then take advantage, people expect it. And then when this person doesn't really want to do it anymore, it creates problems for them. So it's just easier for them to go along with it. So they formed many, many bad relationships formed on attachment. So now they met you, they have this connection to, they're like, fuck that. I'm not dealing with that. They're going to be rebellious and they're going to be reckless. And that's how they are rebellious. Again, just being very selfish, uh, taking dangerous risks. So that might be drinking and driving, partying too hard, sleeping around. Just, I'm not going to let you in. It's like I feel like this person had feelings. They know they have feelings now because they're stuck in a place of obsession. They're worried, okay? But they've created the attachment. Again, because they tried to control, and what they didn't realize is all them trying to control and navigate and manipulate this relationship has actually been the reason why they lost you. Really, that's what happened, because they still formed an attachment even though you are no longer in their life. They formed an attachment because it's how much time and energy a person puts into you. So you probably feel this person's energy, but you don't you feel their energy, but you're not seeing them. They're like and that's because they formed an attachment. Attachment, we're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. This person's energy is their thoughts and their emotions. They're obsessed, and they're obsessed because, hey, you should have come back by now. You must be talking to somebody else. It's triggering their ego, and they don't like it. Again, this person had a hard time of letting go of the past and the fears associated with it. So they always manifest in chaos in their relationships. That's what the problem is. Like I said, it's like this is the way that they learned how to navigate their relationship in order to feel safe. Not accurate, but it's again, they create what they don't want to create, because the focus is on, I don't want to lose myself in the relationship, so I don't want this person to get that close. So their focus is on making not on the relationship not working out instead of on the relationship working out. And they don't realize that because they're acting from a place of fear, not unconditional love. They're unaware. And I don't believe that they normally have this issue with other people. They're overstimulated. I want to know what they're going to do. Again, there's a sense of they have affection still for you. Again, they feel like you're kindred spirit. They feel like you feel like home. You feel like a soulmate. And they want to repair it. They want to repair and heal this connection. They want to fix it. That's what they want to do. How are they going to do it? I wonder. Let's see. Emotional support. They're going to open up. They're going to open up. They're going to give you the emotional support. They're going to be honest. Okay. They're going to expose the hidden layers. And this relationship is really helping them develop their character, because again, not being emotionally intelligent means that you're very selfish. And when you're very selfish, you're coming from a very low consciousness. So again, this person is learning to open up their heart. So we have to ask, why did you attract this person into your life? Rebellious. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit of mirroring energy right there. Lies and secrecy. Organized chaos. So I believe, again, like you grew up in where it was, it's not that you didn't have love, but there were a lot of imbalances. So organized chaos is maybe living with a mother that's really emotionally out of balance, or maybe they were sick. Again, and that you had to compromise, that it wasn't a normal childhood because there were other things going on. So you still went to school, you still had love, but it was organized, but it was, the underline was the organized chaos. And it was because of not really sharing, being able to be transparent, to not really being able to not being able to like really be as vulnerable and be a child and find yourself because of the lies and secrecy. When that happens, when we grow up in that type of environment, whatever is happening takes precedence. So if a parent is sick, well, then that's what it is. If a parent is abusive, and usually what happens is you usually see one sick parent and one parent that is actually emotionally not there. And that again creates a lot of turbulence in the environment, right? Because then the child doesn't feel safe, and then the child has acts out, and they feel like you were seen as rebellious. Now, whether you were rebellious or not, I feel like the perception was because of the imbalances in the environment, and you were always seen as bad. If you look at this child is crying. They don't want to be seen as rebellious, but it's almost, and the child is actually hurting herself. So really, what Spirit was saying, it's like you grew up in an environment where, it was imbalanced, and that you were seen as bad for not being able to compensate, to not fix that, or seen as that. And that doesn't mean that, hey, I was supposed to fix it, but when a parent is always mad, parent's sick, the child always wants to fix. They want to make it better. And then the parent is still frustrated because nothing is fixed, and the child's taking it on like it's them. So it's again the same type of energy that we see here as a wounded healer within you and your person. You're the wounded healer because again, while I felt bad if I didn't protect the lies and the secrecy, it was organized chaos because there was love. I did do the things that we needed, but there was this big lie that everything was going to be okay. By this big lie that we live like everyone else, and we didn't. I had to sacrifice, and because sometimes I didn't want to do it, or I did my own thing, I was seen as rebellious, even though it wasn't. So you might have been seen as the black sheep of the family, which created a lot more, again, organized chaos. When you're the wounded healer, there is chaos because of it. And in order to heal, it's you went into isolation because there's no support. And the real lesson is again love. So again, not that your parents didn't love you, our parents loved the best way that they know how, but there was other issues going on that made you feel not loved. Again, organized chaos and protecting the lies and the secrecy instead of finding yourself. Not having that support, isolating again, so that blocked heart chakra and that second chakra, because again, if we're blocked in the second chakra of finding our unique individuality, finding balance, and having passionate relationships, being able to be emotionally transparent and available for our person, well, then we can create balance within the connection. I feel like you had a little block there as well, just not as big as the person that you brought into that came into your life. And again, that's what it is, that you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. Whether you might say, well, mine's not as big, or I don't act that way, the wound is the same. The behaviorism and habit are different because the survival mechanisms are different. That's why. Now we ask Spirit in closing, what is the energy that we can pull into this to balance it even more? Because again, it looks like this person wants to come back and that again and open up to you. And for those that want to take this person back, we know that it's a collective reading. Some of you guys are going to be like, no way, no how. But for those of you that do, what would be the advice? It's wisdom. God has a plan for you. I live here now, knowing beauty is to come. I don't force things to happen faster than the universe has decided for me. I learn from my experiences. Take small steps in faith and succeed thanks to all my efforts. So again, this connection was to help you gain wisdom, spiritual wisdom of what needed to be healed and integrated. I believe, again, it's about surrender and putting it in God's hands, not controlling again, and about being on your own path, in your own lane, and being happy with where you are. And by showing that, by working on yourself, by again, polishing up your skills and connecting, and that yes, this person's coming into your life, but again, it's not about attachment. This person needs to be on their path. It's about learning that it's not about being in a relationship and then getting hurt and then not being in a relationship for 5 years and then going back. It's about learning to have a love affair in your own life and meeting people along the way and dating them without expectation, without ownership. And if this person comes back and you do have feelings for them, which again, they look like they're coming back, but if you have feelings for them, then it's again, it's not about control. You have to forgive this person. You need to again stay on your path. The more that you stay on your path and create yourself, the less you're going to have expectations of how this person needs to act. And if it's meant to be, it will be, because really it's about both learning that relationships are not about attachments, where attachments are codependency. It's about staying on your own path. And again, that this person has come into your life to help you gain spiritual wisdom, to help you both heal, not just you, but both of you. All right, I'm going to leave that there, Gemini. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.